In this video, you're going to learn 8 things that police officers cannot do during a traffic stop. Everybody hates getting pulled over by the cops, but it is also very important for us to know our rights and what cops can and can't do during a traffic stop. Luckily for you, you clicked on this video. I'm Jeff for Modern Muscle, and today you're going to learn 8 things that police officers cannot do during a traffic stop. First on the list is that police cannot pull you over without probable cause. Cops just can't randomly stop you and look for drugs in your car. They need to have a reasonable suspicion or probable cause that you have committed a traffic violation or are going to commit a crime. Therefore, it is very important for you to know why you were pulled over. Police should tell you why you have been pulled over right away. You have the right to know why you were stopped, and officers need to give you a reason for why they stopped you. If the officer fails to tell you why they pulled you over, don't be afraid to ask. Second on the list is that cops cannot stop you from filming. It is 100% legal to film a police officer and to record a traffic stop so that you have the record of the interaction, especially if you think you might need to dispute something later. So if a cop tells you to turn off your camera, he's lying to you. It's 100% legal to film police. Next on the list, cops cannot search your vehicle without a warrant. When a police officer pulls you over, they might ask to search your vehicle. Sometimes an officer will nonchalantly ask, "Do you mind if I take a look in your car?" Do not ever consent to this. No good ever comes of it. As soon as you consent to a search, you're waiving your Fourth Amendment right, which protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. Even if you think you have nothing to hide, you should always refuse a search. You might have something in your car that you're not aware of, like drugs that fell out of a friend's purse, or something else you just don't have an idea of. Officers might still perform a search without your consent, but they do have to justify it in court, or all the evidence will be thrown out. Next on the list, cops can only search your car without a warrant for the following 5 reasons. If you consent, police have a right to search your car, but you should never do this, as we stated before. Number 2, if something's in plain view. If an officer approaches your car and on the passenger seat he notices a bag of marijuana, then that pot will be considered in plain view, and a cop will be legally able to search your car. Third is a search incident to arrest. Basically, if an officer arrests you with probable cause, he or she can search your vehicle. Number 4, your car can be searched if an officer has probable cause to suspect a crime. Lastly is going to be exigent circumstances. Before an officer receives a warrant, he can break every single rule if he suspects that evidence is about to be destroyed. This happens more often in specific locations like residents instead of vehicles. For example, if the police want to conduct a drug search and they hear a toilet flush, they can reasonably enter your home. Up next, you do have a right to stay in your car. It's perfectly legal for you to stay in your vehicle, but doing so can look bad to the officer. Officers often ask people to step out of the car as a safety precaution to make sure that the driver doesn't have any concealed weapons, but it's probably best to get out of the car to avoid a tense situation. You can refuse to leave your vehicle. It's well within your rights, but no matter how respectfully you decline, it might escalate the situation. Next on the list, you don't have to answer every question a cop asks you. I know you guys have all heard you have the right to remain silent. That might be the first thing that you hear when you get arrested, but that right doesn't kick in right after the cuffs have been slapped on you. If you're in a routine traffic stop, you may need to provide your license, registration, proof of insurance, and in some states some other basic identifying questions if asked. If the officer asks for any of these documents, ask permission to reach into your glove box for them and state where they are. This will keep the officer at ease as you tell him what you plan to do with your hands. Other than that, you can be as quiet as possible. Remember, staying silent means you can't incriminate yourself. So, what if you have a police officer that wants to ask you a ton of questions? Well, of course, you have the right to remain silent, but consider whether it's your best option. Sometimes exercising this right makes officers suspicious, which can make the situation worse. If you don't want to answer a question directly or remain silent, answer the question with another question. Up next, it might not be a great idea, but yes, you can refuse a breathalyzer. Most states have a statute called implied consent. When you get your driver's license, you agree to take a breathalyzer when pulled over. You can technically still refuse a breathalyzer, but in many states, you could get your license suspended for 6 months if you do so. Last and not least, Attitude is not illegal. You don't have to be nice, but being difficult could escalate the situation. At the end of the day, police officers are trying to do their jobs, and they want their days to go as smoothly as possible, but you don't have to pretend to be their friend or do anything outside of your rights. Sometimes officers will even try to bargain with you, saying cooperating with them will make things easier. All this ever does is make things easier for them, so you shouldn't do it. You don't have to be friendly at all. There is no law governing etiquette for dealing with an officer, and you can't get arrested for having a bad attitude. But being difficult won't do you any favors either. In fact, it's probably the easiest way to make a tense situation go bad. Well, guys, those are 8 things that cops cannot do at a traffic stop. Let me know if you've ever had any experience with any of these action items that I explained here. And let me know if I missed anything. If you guys like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. Also, if you like what you see at the channel, subscribe. Thanks again, guys. Hope to see you soon. Until next time.